We are often taught a simple formula. In a calm world, people spend money, businesses grow, and the stock market rises. It seems logical to assume the inverse, that when the world is chaotic and businesses struggle, the stock market should crash. Right now, we are facing high inflation, ongoing wars, unaffordable rent, and massive job anxiety tearing through the global economy. Yet, against this backdrop of friction, the S&P 500 is hitting dozens of all-time record highs. This creates a massive gap between the data and our daily lives, leading to the question of what these numbers actually measure. The stock market operates as a mechanical system, pricing four specific variables: future profits, interest rates, capital flows, and forced trading maneuvers. To understand the machine, we have to look at its components. The S&P 500 tracks a limited collection of large public companies, not the total economy. This top-heavy structure means a tiny handful of megacorporations command the vast majority of the index's total value. When these few giants expand upward, they pull the index average to new highs, even if the hundreds of smaller companies below them are struggling. While grocery bills rise and wages remain flat, these massive tech and retail firms are often posting record profits. A record high market tracks the dominance of these few monopolies, creating a scoreboard that ignores the broader economic experience. Beyond the physical structure, we have to account for market psychology. Professional traders and algorithms often react to less bad news rather than genuinely positive outcomes. Imagine walking into a classroom expecting a failing grade. When you receive a mediocre C, it feels like a victory because it wasn't the disaster you anticipated. Investors operate the same way. They price in the worst-case scenarios, total supply chain collapse, or global energy shocks. So any reduction in that specific fear triggers a jump in prices. This sensitivity explains why a single social media post from a politician hinting at a ceasefire can instantly trigger a massive market rally. At a larger scale, governments react to crises by spending trillions of dollars, injecting massive liquidity into the financial system to prevent a collapse. This capital pipeline eventually pools into the accounts of wealthy individuals and large institutions that already own a majority of the market. Average people use extra money for survival, rent, bills, and groceries, while the wealthy use excess capital to purchase more assets. Because massive deficit spending devalues the currency, investors move their cash into stocks and gold to preserve their purchasing power. This relentless demand at the top of the pyramid inflates stock prices, detaching the market from the reality of the average consumer. The final variable in this equation is the massive volume of trading now controlled entirely by automated computer systems. Trend-following algorithms ignore geopolitics and social stability. They monitor price momentum, flipping to buy the moment a downward trend shows a slight reversal. This forces options dealers into a mathematical corner. To hedge their risk, they are mechanically required to purchase the underlying stocks, creating a secondary wave of buying. This feedback loop of automated trend following and forced hedging drives the market to exponential highs, moving entirely on its own internal logic. These overlapping forces explain why the market can thrive while the ground level feels like it's burning. The stock market functions as a tracker for surplus capital fleeing inflation and a devaluing currency. Politicians point to these record highs as evidence of economic success, but they are misreading the specific data being presented to them. Dozens of record highs during a global crisis mark the moment trillions in stimulus and crisis spending pooled into the hands of asset owners. This rising market is the visible evidence of systemic inequality. Owning assets allows your wealth to accelerate, while those without them find it mathematically harder to ever catch up.